What is going on, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. All right, so today we are going to be working on my dad's Cadillac XT5. You guys see it right here. Now, this is a 2018 XT5, and what we're going to be doing is we're going to be upgrading the headlights. Now, you guys, of course, know that on almost every car I've owned, if you guys follow my channel, I've done LEDs for the headlights, for almost every light on every car. My mom's RAV4 2021 ended up with new LEDs on the fog lights and the reverse lights and a bunch of other stuff that we did. So my dad just wants an upgrade on the headlights. Now this one, of course, the daytime running light is this waterfall down LED that already has on there, so we don't have to upgrade that. But at this point, he's saying at nighttime it's getting harder for him to see. Of course, my dad is older, so basically we're gonna light up the road a little bit more for him. And for some reason, Cadillac on these cars did not put, specifically in this one, did not put HIDs, which in a way it's good. On some of the other cars, they had either HIDs or now, in this case, the newer ones have LEDs. But when it comes with HIDs, it's harder to convert them into LEDs because they got ballast and a lot of different things. There are a few companies that make them. Actually, I got some for the Cadillac CTS, which I will be doing this spring. But right now, let's go ahead and take care of this car. Now, this is what it looks like right now when you turn on these lights. That's your light beam. Now, I don't have something to measure how much light's coming out of it, but you could tell just by looking at this, that's pretty much all the light that we're getting. Now, I'm gonna take a picture because I'm gonna show you a before and after when we're done with this car. So, and this actually car is not as hard as, let's just say, any other Cadillacs. A lot of the Cadillacs, you used to have to remove the bumper. Some you gotta go through the fender liner. This is gonna be a little bit easier. So the lights I'm using today are going to be with the company I'm working with, LASFIT. Now, LASFIT sent me out these lights. There are 912, if you guys want to know, for an XT5, 912. They have to be a 55 watt. These are actually a 60 watt bulb. So we're going to be putting those on the car, and we don't have to take the bumper off. A couple things we got to remove on the passenger side. On the driver's side, there's hardly anything we have to remove. The light hiding is right there. Just got to be able to fit your hand between the fuse box and the crossbar that goes there. And on the other side, we got to remove the air box for the air filter. So let's go ahead and get started on this car just to get this over with. And I'll show you what it looks like after we're done with this. We'll also look at it on the wall, how they look there. Now, as you guys can see here, the lights are pretty much here. So you can basically figure where the lights are. Here's the light, the projector. So the light's like right back here. Now in here, there is a cap that gets to be removed. And on the driver's side, like I said, it's easier. You just got to get your hand between here. You can go through here, actually between the fuse box and this crossbar to get the light out. If you want to really give yourself room, you can remove the battery. It's just not needed though. Now on the passenger side, it is a little bit more complicated. The air box has to come out because the housing is in here. And if you had a tiny little hand, you can fit in here, but it'll give you a bit more room to be if you're able to get this air box out of here. So we're gonna remove that. And that's it. No front bumper needs to be removed. So let's go ahead and start. I'm going to show you exactly how to do it. We're going to do the driver's side first, then we're going to do the passenger side. Now, the only tools to use for this project is basically a Phillips screwdriver and a 10mm socket. That is all you need. So nothing really complicated for this entire project. All right, so for the driver's side, you got to locate this small little cap. Not hard to get to. And you're going to turn, you can see that there's going to be two little fins. And to turn them counterclockwise. You can push with both hands until it unlocks, and then the lid pops right out. You can pull it right out. That's the lid. Put that to the side. Inside, you'll find the light. The actual light is kind of, the connector is upside down, so basically the connector is up on the top. You're going to want to turn the same thing, go counterclockwise on it. Now, this becomes a little bit more complicated. You can put one finger on it and push counterclockwise, and you loosen up the bulb. And you go ahead and pull the entire bulb out, just like this. Connector and everything straight out, just like that. To loosen up this, you got to pull back on this tab right here and pull down on it. Now the bulb is out. You're going to take the new bulb. Now this, if you guys can see this, bulb has a large tab and two smaller ones. If you look inside of the housing here, the large tab is off to an angle like around 5 o'clock right over here. So you're gonna insert the bulb with this large tab right here, right around 5 o'clock. just like that. And then you're gonna have to figure out a way to, it's gotta be a pain because you gotta get your hand in there. You gotta push in and then turn it clockwise to lock it in place. And if you are, again, just push in it and then you could turn the entire thing to lock everything in place. Pull back on the light, see if it's good. Should be fully seated in there. Now we're not gonna worry about lining up the light until after we connect it. So now that everything is out, it's actually easier to connect everything here. So plug in the connectors. Now the connector for the LED has two sides to it. If one side doesn't turn on the light, then just flip around the connector. All right, so now that we got the light installed, we're not putting anything back together because we got to line it up. So let's turn the light on, make sure it works. Good. Now you guys see how it has this gigantic V here? All we got to do is put your hand back in there and twist the light around until you get a nice even light all the way through. Now, of course, if you keep turning it, you might get too much of a light, so you want a nice even light all the way through, just like that. Now, it's more towards the outside, so let's flip it around some more. There you go. All right, so that's pretty much what you kind of want. You want that big portion right down the middle. If you look at the halogen over there, we got the middle. It's all nice and bright, and then of course it spreads out, and that's what you want. Of course, you want some at the bottom because that lights up the ground. You don't want it up here because then you're gonna blind people. So that center, you want the most light. You want some spread out to the sides, and then of course some at the bottom. Just like if you look at the halogen, the way it is, the factory one, same thing. Middle, most light. At the bottom, you got some light and it spreads out towards the sides. That's exactly how you want this. This will light up the road a lot more. You don't have any up top because then that will blind somebody. So let's go ahead and now put everything back together. And this is also basically just sticking all your wiring nice and tight in there and then putting back the cap on. All right, so now what you want to do is to get this light out of here, we're gonna have to remove this air box. You're gonna take this mass airflow sensor tab, pull that little red tab back like that, that's a locking tab, and then push down on the clip and pull that back. That'll disconnect your mass airflow. We're gonna take our 8mm socket and loosen this up. That's for the air box, for the, of course, your snorkel here. Pull that back. Now we're gonna take our Phillips. There's a total of 5 screws around the air box. We're gonna take all 5 of them out. That's 1. Now we go ahead and pull up on the top cover of this air box and we'll pull back on it and just move it over to the side. Just like that. Remove the engine air filter. This would be a good time either to replace your air filter and to clean the box in here if you have any debris in there. Now this is actually pretty simple. You're just gonna go ahead and pull up on this air box straight up. And the entire air box comes right out. Now you have access in here to get to the light. Now, same thing we did on the other side, and sorry for this bar, I can't move that for the video, but same thing. Go ahead and remove the cap counterclockwise, pull out the cap, the light the same way, 1 finger on the light right in here, pull the light out. Unplug the light bulb. Just like that. Same thing on this one. Same tabs, pretty much just like on the other side. Insert it in there. Twist. So it's nice and tight on there. Make sure it doesn't come out or back out. Make sure all your tabs are locked in place. And then go ahead and plug it in. This side, you see how the lighting, again, you got that triangle on there. Let's turn everything around. This one's easier actually because not as tight. You want to have the same kind of effect as the other one. Right there. So now you got the nice in the center and then spreads out to the sides right over here, just like on the other side did. All right, so now before we put everything together, just make sure the lights pretty much match. There you go. Again, nice center. Same thing on both sides over there. And it's flowing pretty much all the way towards the bottom, not up top. Again, you don't want the top for the millionth time because you don't want to blind anybody. So that is perfect right there. We're going to leave the lights just as it is. Let's go ahead and put the air box and everything over here back together. Okay, so let's go ahead and put everything back together now. All the connectors go inside of here. Make sure it's all nice and tucked in. The cap goes right back on there. Lock it in place. To put the air box back in, you have these 4 rubber grommets. If you guys see them, 1 or 3, I should say, 1, 2, and 3 rubber grommets. You gotta have 3 different screws on the inside as well. You'll be able to see them. You have 1, 2, and then there's 1 all the way down here, 3. Just like you popped the box out, you're gonna put it right back in, right on top of the screws. You gotta line them up. Line up this air intake to the one that's in here as well. So we go on an angle just like this. Okay, so the lights are done. Check them out. Very simple. Nothing hard at all. Both lights are working perfectly fine. They look a lot better, and of course they will light up road a lot better. They're perfectly aimed as well. So nothing where they're bleeding up top or you're gonna blind people or anything like that. And makes the car overall look better when it's coming down the road. I do want to also thank the sponsor of the video, which was LASFIT, who sent me out the bulbs for this car. And if you guys do want to hit them up, there's a coupon code below. It's going to save you 10% off, and the link will be also below. You can hit their website up. They don't just sell light bulbs, they sell a lot of different things, light bars, floor mats for specific cars. Go ahead and hit them up, check them out, and use that coupon code, which I'll have down here below, to save 10% off. So that is the end of this video, and I hope you guys did like the video. If you did, give it a big thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you guys on my next video. Peace.